All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Geek Culture and Philosophy Podcast. My name is Mike,
My name is RC.
and here on this podcast, we talk about everything that interests us in geek culture, politics, philosophy, current events, science, and things of that nature. How are you doing today, RC?
I'm doing very well. Today's March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Oh, right, I forgot it's St. Patrick's Day. Well, it's
Do
not my favorite holiday for sure, but a lot of people like it.
you have any
Uh,
Irish heritage at all?
Absolutely. I have a step grandmother who's Irish, I guess, but
Okay.
no blood,
Oh,
no
well,
blood,
all right.
or none that I know of. What about you?
Yes, I'm part Irish, but I don't really know what part. It's like somewhere between 20 and 30%, something like that.
Just I know we didn't plan on talking about this, but now you reminded me. Isn't it like a little weird? That like St. Patrick's Day, like you have people going around wearing shirts that say like, "Oh, I'm Irish for today." Like, what if like on like Martin Luther King Jr. Day, like someone like was like wearing a shirt that says, "I'm black for today." Like,
No, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
like you see, like there's definitely a double standard there.
There is absolutely a double standard when it comes to people of European heritage versus other people in the world.
Exactly. Well, we can talk about that later, or maybe sprinkle it throughout the show.
Sure.
But we got some topics we want to get to today.
Sounds good.
Masters 25 is out. The prices are dropping like crazy. Uh, People are excited. Some people are excited. Some people are like, eh. Most people are, you know, uh, like just give me the good cards and draft it once and then never speak of it again. Uh,
Yeah, I'm seeing the booster boxes right now from the site I usually order from. Booster boxes going for $200. I think earlier they were 210 at one point, and then I've actually seen them go lower once some of the information that you and I are going to talk about later was revealed. I did see on a few sites the price actually dropped to like 190 at a few
wow.
places. But
Well, I actually saw a pretty cool eBay listing for the. So I don't know if you saw this. It was on MTG Purple's channel, and I saw it on Reddit as well.
okay.
There's a eBay listing for you get a box of for sort of like $308. You get a box of the new Masters 25. You get a box of the iconic Masters
Okay.
and a Garbage Fire Magic the Gathering card. Uh, which
Which
Garbage Fire is a magic card. I'm think from the conspiracy set.
Oh, it's really called Garbage Fire. Okay,
It's
yeah.
called Garbage Fire, and like the promotion is two. It's like the Garbage Fire Master Sets mega sale or something. So like you buy these two awful boxes of these two awful sets and get a Garbage Fire Magic card. And it's like and the thing is, it's funny because I think the guy is selling them really well too.
Yeah.
Because it's just really funny that he's like embracing it. Because like
Yeah.
usually what these like people who sell like sealed product will do is like, let's not talk about how good or bad it is until after we sell it all, and then we can talk. You know what I mean? You know. But he's just like going right off. He's just like, this is garbage. You want to buy it? You know.
Yeah. I mean, there are good cards in the set. It's just I don't think it needs to be selling for as high a price as it is.
No,
The packs have dropped to like below the $10 mark, which is what they're supposed to be at.
well, it's the thing is like that. But the thing is, it shouldn't be that. It should just be cheaper in the first place. Like the MSRP should just be around like $6-7,
Yeah,
and then have this kind of value in it. Then like obviously, if you're buying it for $10 a pack, you're dumb because you can find it online places for less than $10 a pack.
yes,
But the thing is like it just shouldn't even. That shouldn't even be. It shouldn't even be like Wizard. Like that's why I think that Wizards is favoring these big box stores.
hmm
Right? Like for example, like there was a report that Walmart and such, like Walmart specifically, had it on the shelves before it was supposed to be available.
okay,
But nothing's going to happen to them because if that happened in an LGS, for example,
hmm
right, that LGS would become like they would come down hard on them, right? That'd be
right.
like they'd be in real big trouble. But Walmart, like they're not going to risk their like contracted selling at Walmart to just reprimand Walmart for putting the stuff on the shelves early,
That's
and
true.
that's the thing is like Walmart gets to sell their product at $10 a pack no matter what, right?
Yeah,
And that favors Wizards more than like LGSs who have to discount it to sell it basically.
Yeah, I think you maybe not you, but I think the average Magic player may be surprised how much product moves through a Walmart. Like I've gone to a Walmart and looked at the Magic cards, and then like come back the next day, and the stuff that they had stocked on the shelf was gone. And this was like a few weeks after the set had come out. It wasn't like it was brand new stuff. I just think Walmart gets so much foot traffic compared to an LGS that like a regular game store that they're just out of like sheer uh, the probability of just people wanting Magic cards walking through that store and picking something up, they're gonna sell a lot more products even if it is slightly overpriced and less sets to choose from.
Well, yeah, and you also just get the foot traffic of like people do their grocery shopping at Walmart, right? And you'll have like a kid come up to their mother and be like, "Mom, let me get a pack of Magic cards or something." And
Yeah.
it's like, and they keep it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times they keep it like right near checkout. It's like one of those like,
Yeah, they have that little game aisle.
it's like, yeah, it's like they make it one of those like on your way out purchases. Like you're standing in line and you're just looking at it and you're like, then like that's the kind of product Magic is the longer you look at it, the more you're gonna want it. So
Yeah.
so
I know I've done that myself. Like I need to go to Walmart and get some like wood glue or something at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, well, if I buy a pack of Magic cards, it'll make the trip a little more worthwhile, and I'll just like buy a pack.
yeah.
So,
And when I was like first into like when I was a little kid and I was into like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And then later when I was like a teenager into Magic, right? Like that's where like if my family member wanted to get me a pack of cards, that's where they got it. Like they didn't go to the local game store.
sure.
Like my mother or grandmother would just get it on their way out at Walmart. They wouldn't like go to the just game store down the street where they knew I played because that's a weird place, so they wouldn't want to go there.
Right.
So I mean, eventually I would convince them like, no, just go there. It'll be cheaper, and you can like get me stuff I actually want, as opposed to like a random booster pack from some set that I don't even care about. Though
Right.
I will say that right when Innistrad came out, I got a pack of Innistrad from Walmart for my mother for Christmas, and it had a foil Geist of Saint trapped in it, which was a big deal.
Oh, nice. That's very good.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I think I ended up like selling or trading it immediately because that's what I did with all expensive cards that I opened. But but so that was pretty good. But other than that, like I believe in supporting your local game stores because you can't play Magic at Walmart. They don't have tables set up. So
That's true.
I mean, you could play it in the little like subway they have there or whatever you got at your local Walmart, I guess. But no, there's no like dedicated Magic tournaments going on. So that's
what sucks about those is like they're not even open 24 hours. Like the Walmart will be open 24 hours, but the little food place is not. If it's a Subway or McDonald's, they like shut down at a certain hour. I always thought that was a big like wasted opportunity there.
Yeah, because this is when you think like you'd actually want something quick and easy to eat. Like if you're like at there late or something.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to like why would I don't know. That like that's what I used to love about like when I went to Costco with my father as a kid.
Yeah.
Like because they have the real cheap food court there. Like it's like real cheap compared to like anywhere else. I mean, obviously you have to pay your membership to go to. That's why it's cheap. Is they subsidize it from the fact that like everyone's paying to shop there.
Yeah, yeah. You can get like a decent hot dog for like $1.
Yeah, it's like a big hot dog, or you can get like two giant slices of pizza for like $3.
Right.
Or like if you're on dessert or something, they got those like churros for like giant churros for $1, or like the frozen yogurt or whatever. That shit was great as a kid. You know?
I'll have to try the churros. I haven't tried them.
Oh, actually, I used to get a churro and get it with the frozen yogurt, and then dip it in the frozen yogurt because I'm a fat piece of shit. So that was good. I miss Costco. It was a great store. But
you're wild, man. Yeah, that's cool. I've only eaten at Costco like once or twice, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, good price.
My father, that's my father's favorite store in the world, so we shop there a lot.
Okay.
And I was always there with him. I have very good and bad memories of Costco. But anyway, we're getting a little off topic here, I know, but
I'm sure this is something that many people can relate to, though.
Yeah, I know. We're doing like relatable humor, Anyway, so
we're
M20, back to M25. So Rudy put out a video of him opening. So what happens is his patrons will pay him. He gives discounted rates for the boxes.
Yeah, now who's this? Did we already explain who Rudy was last?
Okay, yeah, Rudy
episode?
isn't.
We want to talk about who Rudy
Oh,
is.
okay. So Rudy runs a Magic the Gathering channel named Alpha Investments, or actually, it's not even. He covers other games too, so it's other
Sure.
card games and stuff and such. And he is not sponsored by Wizards, so he is able to talk about things.
Mhm.
He's not worried about biting any hand that's feeding him. He is independently wealthy,
Yeah,
and so he does not care whether or not Wizards doesn't like him. Obviously, they don't like him because he tells the truth.
yeah. He has a rich
Uh,
mahogany study that he films from.
Yeah, yeah, and he always has like stuff, like different setups and like cool, like it's obvious like he doesn't put like a ton of work into doing it, but it's like just enough work to where it's like funny, you
Yeah.
know. That's how
You
I
can tell
feel
he's
about
very
it.
passionate about what he talks about too, which counts for a lot.
Yes, yeah, and he's an old school Magic player. Like he remembers what it was like playing back in the day. Like he always talks about. I think he's like fourth edition was one of his favorite sets or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Okay, so he's so Rudy is making his. He made a video about.
Yeah, so he does box openings for every new set, and his patrons get discounted rates on the boxes if they not only from if they're patrons, but I don't quote me, but I think he also discounts them where he opens them on the channel to produce like views for a video, and
Okay.
then that'll like go towards the discount for buying the boxes. And then
Okay.
he'll like open your box for you on the channel so like people can watch a box opening, and then mail you the cards when
Okay.
he's done. So during the first one he uploaded, he opened two boxes, and between the two boxes, not the rares and mythics were exactly the same except for one pack was different.
Okay.
So this created a large amount of what's it called controversy and worry in the community, like because this brought back bad memories of what's called box mapping.
Yes, which can be done with most Magic sets.
Yes, this was a problem fixed, I think, around the time when they introduced the new card frame.
Okay.
I don't think you could do it with recent Magic the Gathering sets. Um, at least to the consistency they used to be able to do it. I watched someone do it in front of me, where they opened all the expensive cards in a box and then just left the other ones. I think box mapping is a
Kind of ruins the spirit of the collectible
it's
game.
very sketchy at the very least and immoral at the worst.
Sure.
So if you're only box mapping, it depends. So the box mapping thing is all about what are you doing with the packs that you're not opening that you know have bad cards in them,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
That's what matters. Are you just saving them so you can draft between you and your friends and just have fun? Then I don't see a problem. But if you are selling them, it is a problem. Is 100% a problem. That is you being a bad person if you're doing that.
Yes, because you're knowingly selling product that you know is not going to have anything good in it or worth any money.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The thing they can't map for is like foils, I think. So you could technically still open like a foil good card in those packs, but again,
that's a low probability. But
it's really low probability. You're just taking away most of the value that you could get.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see these on eBay. Just by the way, if anyone's listening, if you're buying Magic cards on eBay and you see someone saying that for example, I was looking at this is the third time I brought up Scars of Mirrodin, but I was looking up Scars of Mirrodin boxes on eBay.
I know you love that set. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that set a lot. I was looking up and I periodically check listings to see if they go down or up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see things that'll be like, oh, 1/3 of a box for like this price. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, for sure there is nothing good in that 1/3 of a box, 100%. You know, so never buy any sealed product that's not in the factory seal.
Now, what if the what do you think a fair price for one of these like bundles of like chaff packs would be? Like what if a set like Stars of Mirrodin, which has good cards in it, even the not expensive ones, some of them can be kind of fun. What would be an acceptable price for a sealed booster pack?
I guess right off the top of my head, half price then, or whatever the market price is for one.
Half price for a junk pack? Okay.
Yeah, well, depends on what the set is. I mean, if it's like a really bad set, then even less than half should be the price. But if it's a set like Scars of Mirrodin where you technically still have a chance of opening like a foil Mox Opal, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
I understand, but technically you still have a chance of opening one.
Sure.
So I don't. I mean, I would see that as at least something. I mean,
Okay. You still there,
correct.
Mike?
You just yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still there.
We had a little technical difficulty there, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
you're saying that there's a low probability of opening an awesome card like a foil Mox Opal, but the possibility still exists. So you can't be a total pessimist about it.
Yeah. So, but the thing is I just see it as so the person. I'm not gonna name any names, but the person I saw open like a map box and then have the map packs. I was like, well, what are you gonna do with them? Because I was like very concerned he's gonna try and sell like because at the local game store there were plenty of kids that would like be fooled by this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they would not know. And he was like, well, I wasn't gonna choose for full value. I was just gonna, if I was gonna like, he's like, if I ever like was gonna make a trade and like, I wanted the trade to be a little more even, I'll be like, oh, I'll throw in a booster pack. And I'm like, well, that's still immoral because you're not letting him know that this isn't like, that this booster pack doesn't have anything good in it. So you're basically giving away nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
To like try and even out a trade. Like I see box mapping as immoral in general.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it. But if you do it, I don't think it's bad. I don't look bad upon you if you do it to just open the good cards and then use the chaff packs as like if you for example, like if you open 2 boxes of Scars of Mirrodin, we'll stay on that, and you just want to open the good cards right away, and you open those up by box mapping, and then with the packs you have left over, you run a draft where just you and your friends have fun. Like I don't see that as a problem.
Okay.
But just any type of like gain you want to make out of the packs that are chaff, and I see that as a big problem. And not obviously it's not illegal. Well, it might be technically illegal, but no one's ever going to get you on it. But while you're never going to go to jail for it, I just think it'd be a bad thing for a person to do.
Sure. It's kind of like you could liken it to counting cards when you're like playing poker with your friends.
Exactly. Like if you think like obviously counting cards is not like an illegal way to play poker. It is just the best way to play poker. But that's the way it like. But if everyone does it, then like it's not poker's not even like a game anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So, yes. So
Rudy was showing how these 2 boxes that I assume he pulled them off of the same pallet, or I know he buys large quantities of cards at a time. Did he happen to mention where the boxes came from? Were they like sitting next to each other?
They come in like cases of 2 boxes per box, basically, in like a cardboard box, or at least the way he was showing.
All right.
When he picked those out on camera, they were all just like he likes to just like pile them up to like create a show out of it usually. Sure. So he just pulled them out of like a big pile of like M25 boxes. So I have no idea of knowing if they were in the same case or they weren't. But either way, it shows that like there's a way for boxes to be almost identical to show that there might be a way that these packs can be mapped. And with a set that has such a high, like the cards that are good are really good and the cards that are bad are really bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. And most sets are like that, but like it's like tenfold for like a $10 booster pack set. You know what I mean? Sure. As opposed to like because you can handle opening a bunch of junk rares if you're only paying $4 a booster pack or less.
That's true.
Right? If you're paying $10 a booster pack, then you kind of, we talked about this before. Like people want to get some value if they're going to open $10 a booster pack.
Right.
Whereas if you're only paying $4, it's like you're like, well, it's not a master set, so I can't be mad if I don't get value. The fact that like you might be able to map these sets, and in a time where Magic is having a really bad time with trying to sell product, at least since recent history, how can you trust local game stores selling loose packs anymore? Like, yeah, if it's someone you really, really trust, sure, but you can't buy just a single booster pack of M25 if the boxes can be mapped, right? Because
that easily. I mean,
because like
other modern sets can be mapped as well. It just takes longer to usually put it together.
Yes. Like this one seemed like it was even easier than what it used to be. Like there used to be an app for it on like a smartphone app for mapping boxes. But it cost money. It was like $20 or something.
Okay.
But it would map like any set that was like like Innistrad, I think, or something like that for you.
Oh, okay.
Like I saw that, like this is when I saw the guy mapping the box. That's what he was using, and it worked. Like he opened a box of oh god, what set was it? I can't remember what the set was, but it did do it. I remember it did it perfectly. Whatever the phone was saying was in the packs. That was what was in the packs.
Wow. Okay.
So what I'm just trying to say here is consumer confidence went down a lot when that video came out. And then what showed was that it seemed like it wasn't totally true. So he released another one where they weren't the same at all. But then another one where like half of the rares were the same and like 70% of the foils were the same. So that was weird. So all I'm trying to say is be careful when you're buying M25. Don't rush to buy it. Wait. The prices are most likely going to go down. There's no way this set is going to. Maybe this set will appreciate in value, but it's going to be a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I see the packs going to like $5 probably at some point.
Yeah, though I think if they do get down to that much, storing some sealed product as an investment would not be that bad.
Sure, I can see that.
If you're only going to go $5 a pack because it has cards in it like the Filter Lands, Jace the Mind Sculptor. There's a rich import. Like there's some cards that will eventually. Well, I guess it all depends on what Wizards reprint policy going to be in the future. Like if these cards get reprinted again in the next 5 years, yeah, your M25 boosters are not going to hold value.
Even like if there's a foil in every pack, like your chance of getting good foil commons like Counterspell and stuff like that, pretty high too. So, I mean that's still the case with this set, right? A foil in every pack.
Yes. Yes, and there are some good foil commons you can get, for sure. And yeah, some of them look cool. The card stock's not better, but what can you do?
Sure.
Like for example, like with the set symbols in the background, yeah, they look cool. Like I saw one of the new foil Azuzas with like the Kamigawa symbol on it. Yeah. That looks cool. I'll be honest. Sure. But like my problem is I know it's just gonna bend and curl and like be shitty in like less than a month. So it's like it's hard for me to get excited. But yeah, it does. I mean, at first glance, it looks very cool. I'll give it credit on that.
Okay.
So that's all I want to talk about with M25. We'll move on to more interesting stuff.
Well,
do you have anything else to say?
No, not as far as box mapping goes. I think it's something that we're just going to have to look out for in the future and be aware of that sort of stuff when you're buying loose booster packs.
Yeah.
All right, so another thing that was Rudy talking about it, the difference between new and old Magic players, how there's been a change in the mentality and the makeup.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to, that's right. So yeah, I'm sorry, actually, this is where I wanted it to lead to.
Okay.
And that the new Magic players seem to just have this this mentality of like gaslighting for Wizards no matter what they do. Like they're just defending them, and like I've like on Reddit and just watching these people defend Tree of Redemption being printed as a mythic in this set. As an example, like just like an all around awful decision. Like we don't have to dwell on it. Like the reason I think it's being dwelled on is because there's people defending it. Like it should just be like, this was awful. Wizards made a mistake. Let's move on. But it can't be that, because people can't have Wizards can't make mistakes. Let's explain why this wasn't a mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't stand those people, and I think it's as opposed to like people who are like Rudy from Alpha Investments or Jeremy from Unsleeved Media or the MTG Lion guy. Like these guys are old school Magic players. They've been playing since forever. You know what I mean? Like they've been playing for 25 years.
Yeah.
And like they understand that like what Magic used to be and what it is now, and how it's like some sort of just bastardization. And I understand. I'm a newer player, newer than these players. Like I came in at Scars and Mirrodin, but even I could see like a difference. Like at least with the card, like for stuff like I see it's just like physical stuff with like card quality and like art and like standard sets. Like that's the thing. Like the art, man. Like I watched people open up old sets. The art was so much better, man.
I know. It really was. They're trying to make it all look like it was done by the same artist. in these
Yeah,
modern sets. Like it all just like blurs together. It's the same type of like it's just the same art style and the same color palette, and yeah, it's very homogenous. And the old sets had like they were weird off the wall like watercolor images. Sometimes like you could tell they were using like different mediums to make different works of art. Some had like a almost like a comical feel to them. Others were very serious and dark and stuff. And it was cool to see that difference all within one set. And now you don't get that anymore.
yeah, and for sure, and they the sorry, the what's it called? Oh, the like they're not paying the artists what they used to, right? Like that's the thing is like they've cheaped out on art as well as like they just have these people mass producing this garbage art for your Magic the Gathering sets.
A lot of it's digital, and it's a
Yeah,
lot easier to make a digital image than it is to actually sit down and do an oil painting, which is the way a lot of the old Magic art was done.
yes, and the fact that like when they do reprints, they like rarely use the old art because they don't want to pay the artist like the royalties to the artist because like all the artists owe royalties
Yeah.
are owed royalties by Magic every time a card of theirs gets printed.
Yes, that's right.
Which is why like invitational cards like get replaced with new art all the time. Uh, which is just so stupid. Like there's just so much good like so much great art in Magic the Gathering's history and like if you just like this is an experiment they always say, but like if you just like for example, if you just take all the green cards in a set,
yeah,
right, and just remove the border, name, and casting costs and just look at the arts,
yeah,
like it just all blurs together. Like there's like almost like there's just all this like no differences between like what you're looking at. You
sure,
know,
sure.
like stuff like that. Like I understand there is differences. What I'm just saying is this like the differences aren't pronounced and cool and awesome the way they used to be. And
Right.
and the way I'm getting to this is just like old Magic versus new Magic is there's a significant difference. And the thing is, I think it all just comes down to them cheaping out and taking advantage of a player base that really likes the game.
Yeah. Could this be another symptom of them being ruled by they're like Hasbro, they have more of a corporate mindset now than they did back in like 1996, 1997 when they were still Wizards of the Coast. They had not been purchased by Hasbro yet.
I think that's reasonable. The fact that it's taken so long though, because Hasbro's owned them for a while, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know when they got purchased. I think it might have been in the early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah, and that's over a decade, you know. So the fact that
when was the last set that you remember like the artwork being like decent, like in your mind, if you could like place like you said you started playing around Scars of Mirrodin and you thought the artwork was like suitable.
Oh my god, yeah, like the whole cool, like everything was metallic, or it was like I like I really like the flavor when I started Magic. Like when I opened like a Koth of the Hammer Planeswalker, I wanted to know who's Koth, what is he about, what's he doing? Does that guy look cool? You know what I mean? Or like I don't know, like I remember I bought like some intro decks for like a core set, and it had like some stuff. I used to buy like old booster packs just to like look at the art, basically. Like back when like this was crazy. Like this is when I first started. Like Magic, I guess, just didn't explode yet, or what hadn't continued to explode. Because like you could buy reasonably priced old booster packs at like my local game store. Like I could get like Lorwyn packs for like $4 a pack, or like Kamigawa packs. You know what I mean? Like. I guess it depends on the comp. Like, there's the Champions one is really inexpensive because there's no good cards. But anyway, but like for example, like I was just like look at like for Kamigawa, for example, I just looked at the spirits, and the spirits all looked like like I don't know if you ever want to look at some art, but like look at the art on some of those like Kamis from Kamigawa.
Yeah, it's
like,
usually
those
like some
crazy,
weird thing, and it's got like little things orbiting around it. Like there'll be like one like weird creature that's like the kami, and then it's like has these little followers around it. They all kind of like follow that pattern.
Like I remember this one. I remember if you want to look, you guys want to Google it. It's a card called Kami of the Wild Hunt. Like I remember that art being crazy, and like it had like a flavor text. I think of like a guy was got like eaten by it or something. Like to me, that was like so cool. And just like It's just like so all this like out of this world stuff, man. I loved it. But now it's just like generic human mage number 1, generic human mage number 2, generic human mage number 3. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, and not even human. Like, even if they're other races, they all look the same. Like,
yeah.
you
Okay, I'm
know,
looking at Kami of the Hunt. It's yeah, it's like this big. It kind of looks like a big slime ball with a bunch of like skulls stuck in it. It's got like a. It almost has like an alien like xenomorph mouth to it.
yeah, I always thought
It's
that thing
weird.
looked crazy, man. I don't mean as like that to be like the poster child. Kamigawa is also home to my favorite art on a Magic card, but I'm saving that for our top 10 Magic cards list.
Okay. Well,
Hint, hint.
we're also going to do top 10 Magic art at some point, aren't we?
Well, yeah, but okay. Well, I guess we can do that as well. But I was going to include like at least a card or two that are my favorite cards just because of the art.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. It just, yeah, we're going to do lots of top 10s regarding Magic in the future. So,
Okay, well, for sure.
yeah.
But anyway, like I just want to be like old school versus new school. Like I think the old school players have recognized what. Oh, so you want to tell me like the last set I remember that I think like great art? I'll
Yeah,
say like Innistrad block had
sure.
pretty good art.
Sure.
I'll say Avacyn Restored wasn't the greatest
I will agree
if I
with
remember
that.
correctly.
I will agree with that. I think Dark Ascension was the last set that I can remember in my mind that had good artwork throughout the entire set. There's been
Yeah,
good art since
I
then.
will say the best art is the art where of Triumph of Ferocity where Garrick is pinning down by the just showing the domestic violence in the Magic the Gathering world. The multiverse is just kidding. If you guys don't know, there was like a controversy when that card came out because it depicted like violence against women or something, but like the whole flavor of the card is he's like trying to get her to uncurse him with like this death curse she put on. Like she's like the bad guy, you know, because she like literally just like put a death curse.
She
Like
basically hit him with like an alimony suit or something. He's got to like suffer for the rest of his existence.
yeah, exactly.
He's like, take it back, bitch. She won't do it.
Exactly. Like people just don't get the context. You know.
So he got punished by never being like mentioned in the storyline since that point. But
Oh yeah, they just got rid of Garrick. I was just like,
so he committed a crime against women. He's gone. Write him out of the story.
oh my god. Like I just can't.
Because Nicol Bolas never destroys any women. He destroys entire planes, but he never hits any of the women. It's always men on all the planes that he wrecks.
Yeah, of course. That's why the Burger King Kids Club of the Gatewatch needs to always win. Like, yeah, they lost on Amonkhet. Like, honestly, I would not be surprised if people were angry about the fact that they didn't beat Nicol Bolas on Amonkhet. Like, what do you mean Liliana and Chandra aren't good enough? I know like that sounds like parody, but I guarantee there's people who have that opinion. I think it's the only reason it's not considered like a like horrible is because it's Nicol Bolas. It's like an ancient magic character who's a dragon,
Yeah,
as opposed to a white male.
that's true. The fact that he's not human, I think, makes him being able to get away with stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, that's what I just mean by like the mix of like old and new is like the old school players. Like you could see like in their voice when you watch like the Rudy video where he talks about the Amonkhet stuff being cut off. You know what I mean? You could tell that like he's just like frustrated. You know that like it's such a good game, but it's in the hands of very incompetent people right now. And I think it's just because like now that they hire only people for ideology, they also only hire people like they don't pay competitively, so they're not hiring the best people for the job.
Sure.
You know, like they work off the fact that there's people who are fans of the game that come and work for them just because they want to. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like they can afford like for example, like I heard of this a lot about like the people who like the MTGO engineers, for example. Like they'll never pay anybody actually good to like fix MTGO because really all they're hiring is like people who just like Magic who are also into like that kind of like game like in IT stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're not paying competitively for people to do that. So the people who are actually good at the job or the best of the job aren't working for them. You know,
they need someone to kind of come in and be like brutally honest with them and say like you need to redo this entirely. But they're hiring a bunch of people that are going to tell them what they want to hear, basically, and just go along.
They just need one quality assurance person. Like that's how I'm pretty sure that's not even a section of the Wizards of the Coast company. There's no way that they have a quality of assurance. A quality assurance person or department.
Okay.
It's like they'd go crazy. They'd be pulling their hair out at every turn. He was like, "What do you mean the cards bend when you open them?" I was like, "What do you mean like the Master Set Tree of Redemption is a mythic?" He's
Yeah.
like these are people like, "Wait, no. Like we need quality in our products, not like chaff." That's all.
Did Rudy say in that video that like he's like, if you don't like the card quality, send them back to Wizards. They have a policy where they're supposed to replace your booster pack, or
that wasn't Rudy. That was Unsleep Media.
That was Unsleep Media. Okay.
So he was like, they do have a policy that if you open damaged cards, they'll replace them.
Sure.
So he was just like, why don't we just send a message? Like, get his. I think it didn't work because I haven't heard about it since.
Sure.
Or like he didn't get enough people on board. But honestly, it's a good idea. Like, because it's probably Wizards of the Coast is not a big company. They probably have like 1 or 2 people working on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you just send in not even just your rares, like you just send in all your commons and uncommons,
the entire booster pack,
or like a whole fat pack's worth of cards. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, you have to pay for the shipping to get it there, but it's worth it if you sends a message. Is what he was saying. And I actually would have been behind that. It's just it's tough to get a lot of people on board.
Yeah.
Plus, I hadn't even bought any Magic product in the last few months, so like I don't even have anything to send back. Like, I could go buy some, but I don't want to spend even more money. So,
I'm sticking to singles right now for the time being.
Yeah, for sure. It's sad that my Kamigawa cube will never be complete, but anyway, well, I guess we'll move on to the next topic. We spent enough on Magic.
Okay. So this is about the newsroom, or just like the state of the country?
Yeah, okay. So I want to bring this as an example. So we're going to play a clip right here that's from a show called The Newsroom. Many of you, it's a very viral. People have seen. I kind of got the idea, just so you know, I don't want to, full disclosure, I know Steven Crowder did a video about this, but I want to relate it to like current events and something that happened this week on why people need to understand why the United States is the greatest country on earth as opposed to living anywhere else. And why people want to live here opposed to anywhere else, and I just want to understand, like, because this is a viral thing that like, and many people are like on board with the fact that like, oh, because basically this is a clip from the newsroom where the guy goes on this rant / speech about how America is not the greatest country on earth.
All right,
and while it does come somewhat has some good features of it, it really is very disingenuous in how America is as opposed to other countries in the world.
All right.
So,
and starts out. There's a student asking him a question. He makes like a little joke, and then he finally answers the question. So
yeah, so it's like a panel. So you'll hear like he's on a panel with like what's an American liberal, an American conservative, and him who's portrayed as like a middle of the road, talk the truth kind of guy.
Because the media doesn't take sides, as we all know.
Yes, of course. The media has never taken sides ever.
Right. Here we go.
All right, so go ahead.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
The American liberal.
Freedom and freedom.
The conservative.
Well, the New York Jets. No, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world? Well, and Sharon said it, diversity and opportunity.
Here we go. Yes.
Just so you know, he's going to like bullshit for a little bit, and then just so you know, there's going to be like a silence, and the music's going to like go in a certain direction. It's basically it's a visual thing.
Tissues if you're.
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean like it's gonna go silent and be like, "Oh, what's going on?" It's because he's looking into the crowd, and I guess one of his associates. I've not seen the show, but so I don't know who the person he's looking at is. But one of it, I'm going to say an associate is like holding up a sign saying it's not, and trying to get him to tell the truth in quotes. So when he starts his speech, that's when it'll get
Right.
better.
Okay.
So, just get it running.
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it: diversity and opportunity, and freedom and freedom.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
That's the moderator, obviously.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the
human moment from the...
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of her paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
All right, go ahead, pause it.
All right.
So this is where one of the first big points I want to focus on.
Yeah.
Look how he talks to the liberal is there's nothing wrong with the liberals' ideology points or what they're talking about.
No.
It's only their strategy that's bad. It's only their ability to win elections that's bad, not their like point of view, their outlook on life, the horrible things they do to the country. You know. So that's what I first want to point out, like how this is. I want to show that what we're watching is propaganda. It's secret. It's propaganda.
Okay. All right. So, and to be clear, this aired in 2014, December 2014. So the very end of the year, I guess close to 2015. So at that time, was the Liberal Party or the Democrat Party, American liberals, were they all into like this? All the wacky shit they're into now, like the transgender.
It wasn't as bad, but you definitely saw it was definitely there.
Sure,
sure. It was definitely there. It was not as bad as it is today. It's been getting worse, but the seeds have been sown before that, and I think they were just starting to sprout then. Honestly, if we want to go with that analogy.
Sure, I mean they were still soft on immigration and all that shit back then, so it's only a few years ago. All right. So he's done raking the liberal over the coals, just saying increase.
Yeah, that's it. Like, so that's all he's talked about for like why liberals are bad. Now watch this entire tirade on the conservatives' answer.
All right, here we go.
Tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom. Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So,
is that true or not? I don't know how true that is.
Is that true or what?
The freedom thing is like he's using it like a relative term.
Yeah, it's not a relative. Like the thing is, like freedom, I guess, is on a scale. Like how much freedom does your country have? It is true that America is the most free country in the world.
Yes.
And that makes it the best country in the world. The most free is the best country is the best in my opinion. You're not going to change my mind. The person with the most liberty is the person who has the best life. I'd rather be America is built off the idea that you'd rather be a free person living in a shack than a slave living in a palace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's just the fact. And I mean, I'm willing to debate people on that. Obviously, if you want to come on the show and debate me, let me know.
Actually, that'd be great. Yeah, if we can do like a little
But the thing is like when we go down the list of countries, Canada has laws against being able to misgender people. The country is able to take your children away if you misgender them as child abuse, because if your 9-year-old says he's a boy when your 9-year-old says he's a girl instead of a boy and you don't acknowledge it because it's unhealthy to acknowledge something like that at 9 years old, the state can take your child away.
Okay.
So no, Canada does not have freedom. Where we go? Japan. Japan. You you're talking about freedom in Japan. What are you talking about?
Are they even? I don't even think you're allowed to own a gun in Japan, are you?
You have to. You can own a shotgun or an air rifle, but you have to like go to classes for like a year and have to retake the class every year, and then you have to have the police come and inspect your house, and then you have to have it like locked up in a safe. So no, you don't get to have your right to self-preservation in Japan, and there's also plenty of taboos on speech in that country I could go into where you're not allowed to talk about certain things. All right. So Japan does not have freedom like the United States has freedom. The UK is a specific example this week on why it does not have the same freedom the United States has freedom. They're banning conservatives because they are supposed to be some sort of I don't know, rabble rousers to the community because they're going to incite violence just by their presence and their speech. It's insane. The UK does not have freedom. They're going around doing sweeps, taking away old ladies' butter knives in case they can do crime with them, while they have rape gangs that are being covered up by the authorities. So no, the UK does not have freedom like the United States has freedom. France, you're not. They have people. They have. Not only do they have Muslim gangs roaming the street, but they also just are part of any European country that's part of the European Union does not have freedom. They're run by a cabal of globalist elites that want nothing more than
sinking Europe into the ocean.
They're sinking Europe,
systematically replacing its native peoples with people from the south.
Yes. Replacing its population, culture, history, everything until it's all gone. Just eroding the idea of the nation state, the thing that's caused the most good and happiness in the world.
Because what they really want is a European caliphate in like 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. And it's awful. So no, all those countries in Europe that he named, no, they do not have freedom. Like the United States has freedom. And that's why the United States is the best country. You can go over. He can start giving like a bunch of. So hit the video again.
All right, a little bit more here.
The 7 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah,
wrong.
Sorority girl. Just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy.
All right, I just got to point out, while he's going over all this crap, there's a bunch of people pulling their cameras out like, oh my God, what he's saying is so true and hard-hitting. Oh, he's like opening my eyes up to a whole new world. Like, that's the whole angle that they're going for right now. Right.
Okay, if just so you know, if America as a country is so bad, why are people like risking their lives, death to come live here? Why are the people who who are here illegally who get deported? Why are they like act like their entire lives are ruined because they got deported from the United States? If it's so bad, especially
why do so many people come into this country and not even bother assimilating? They just want to be on U.S. soil to take advantage of all the freedoms and benefits and all that shit that we give to people.
Yeah, we have so many. Being born in this.
They're not interested in having like a 4th of July barbecue. They just want to be in like the right little area where they can get a tax cut and like a handout from the government.
Exactly. And the whole point, the whole thing with this is the oh God. Oh, it's making me angry. But I'm getting worked up over this now when people like try to say that like
I can't believe this bullshit fake thing on TV is pissing me off this much.
Yeah, exactly. Like the country that is the most. The thing is, like, I understand. Okay, people are gonna roast us because this is an old clip. Like, it has been news. Well, I'm just telling you, but this is an attitude that is prevailing throughout the United States. Like, the United States is some sort. Like, I had an argument with a guy telling me that Saudi Arabia was a better country than the United States. Right? Like.
Dude, they have robot citizens.
These yeah, they have robot citizens, but no woman ones.
Well, women were recently allowed to drive. That's pretty good. That's very
and they can. I think they're allowed to. They're allowed to request custody of their children now in divorce. Apparently, before the men would just take the children, but now they're allowed to at least have a chance of getting the children. So progress. So but like I'm just saying, like, why does everyone risk their lives to come into this country if it's so bad? If you are like, I've heard this opinion that America is a white supremacist, horrible place. I'm like, okay, if it's a white supremacist state, why do you live here? Like, there's like, why don't you go to a place where being, I don't know, say you're a black person, why don't you go to a country where being a black person is considered the best thing you can be? Say Zimbabwe or South Africa
or Haiti.
Like, you could go to one of those countries. Why are you here? Why are you in this country? Oh, I know why you're in this country, because it's the best country on earth, and you wouldn't want to leave for anything.
That's right.
It's, like, even celebrities, like all those people who said they'd leave if Trump, like people who have all the money in the world,
none of them.
Yeah, none of them leave. None of them leave. Like, even if you're like a rich person and you can afford to live in the nice part of France or the nice part of Canada, you'd still rather live in the United States. That's how good it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We're not dissing, like, if you're born in the UK or France or whatever and you're listening to the show, we're not saying like, hey, your lot in life sucks, but like, you need to get politically active and try to turn your country's direction around, because it doesn't look very good from where we're sitting.
Well, no, because the United States comes from an idea of like you like the English exceptionalism, you know, like we were originally English citizens, right? Like the United States. Like, obviously, most of the people in here are immigrated from other countries, but what I'm saying is like the founding ideas come from the like European classical liberalism. You know what I mean? Libertarianism.
But Europe used to be more close to what the U.S. is now, like in the last couple decades, and only recently they've been like really going down off this like crazy.
Yeah, now like
and it looks like it's going to be very detrimental for them, and I feel bad because I don't want to see Europe fail. Yeah,
I don't want to see Europe fail either. That's the home country, you know.
Right, that's our ancestral homeland, and it's also where like it's a birthplace of Western civilization.
Yes, the best civilization to ever exist in the history of the world.
And if any civilization is going to make it to Mars or Venus or make it out of the solar system, it's going to be based on the ideals of a Western civilization and the technology that's developed in a Western civilization. It's not going to be some bullshit from the Middle East or Sub-Saharan Africa. And that's the sad truth, but too bad. I mean, that's just what history shows.
Exactly. And it's to me awful that someone would just sit there and be like, oh, freaking, we don't have national health care, so we're the shittiest country on the world. Like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Really? Like, you're talking about a country where we have hospitals, like multiple of them in like every town. You know what I mean? Just like places where even if you're not even a citizen of the country, you could just go in and get free medical care. Like, yeah, they're going to ask for your information. Like, I see how it works. I've been to emergency rooms, like, with illegal immigrants. They go in and they're just like, okay, can we get your social security number now? And they're like, oh, I come back tomorrow. And give it to you.
I mean, Mike,
they can't hold you there. You just get the medical treatment and leave. Like, that's just how it works.
Can you imagine if you're a young woman in America or anywhere and, like, maybe you accidentally have sex out of wedlock or something like that? You actually there's no risk of someone knocking on your door, and then when you go to answer it, they throw acid in your face.
Exactly.
Nice. Like, you don't have to worry about that in America.
Yeah, but you have to worry about that in the UK now, though.
I know, it's insane.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, like when you're just like, oh, the UK has freedom. No, they don't.
They do not.
Not the same way.
All right, should I play a little bit more?
Yeah, just play a little bit more. He's going to go into like the okay. So after he gets done naming all the statistics of why we're horrible, he's going to go into like this like, oh, America used to be so good. We used to, care. We used to. Sorry, I cut out there for a second. So we used to like pass laws for moral reasons and like all this other stuff, and you'll see. Just go ahead.
Well, when the left decided they were going to destroy religion in this country, the whole moral thing kind of went out the window. Yeah,
like we can have that's a discussion I want to have on the podcast and why morality is 100% tied to a belief in a higher power.
Yes,
but go ahead.
Yep.
Mortality, third in median household income, number 4 in labor force.
Wait, stop that. So sorry. We were third in the country in median household income. Do you know how insane that is for a country that is like 360 million people? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
as opposed to like countries like Qatar or whatever, where everyone's an oil billionaire. You know what I mean?
Right. We have people begging in the streets, and then people in like big palaces.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like he literally, like, maybe that statistic has changed, but if it's true that we're actually third in median household income, that is insane. That is such a good rate for how many people live in this country, right? And like how many people we're told is like, you know, are poor or whatever. You know what I mean?
And I wonder with this income, with like when they count income, that's like the actual money you earn when you go out and have a job. But if you're getting government assistance, they don't count that as your income, do they?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
They don't. So there's still people out there that are on the lower end of this bell curve of income who are still getting milk and eggs and air conditioning and heat and all that.
What I'm saying is, like, even the poorest people in America still have a refrigerator. They still live better than like 90% of the world.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and
that's because we're so wealthy we can afford to do government handouts. A lot of countries don't have that option.
Exactly. The thing is, we're so wealthy is we can afford to do government handouts in addition to having the hegemonic power of military over the entire world. Like, that's how great of a country the United States is. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
In only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending.
All right, stop there.
Okay, so he hates the fact that there's no morality, but then he wants to mock you for your religious beliefs.
Yeah, he hates the fact. Well, you'll see, like, he hates the fact that we don't have morality in our politics anymore, but also mocks people for having religious beliefs. It's insane. Oh, I bet like the thing is, I know this is years old, but I bet if this was made today, he wouldn't have said. He'd still say angels. He wouldn't. I'm sure no one would be saying no. The number of people in Saudi Arabia who believe that Muhammad was the prophet of God is really high.
Yeah.
And isn't that stupid? You know, like, that's what I love, these atheists who live in like that's what even when I was an atheist, I was so turned off by other atheists because they just they hate on like Christianity, but then when it comes to like Islam, they're
totally
just like
tolerant of it. It's like, oh, that's another culture. We got to respect.
Yeah, we have to respect them. You know, just
like, oh yeah, taking like 9-year-old brides and shit. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's literally the biggest force of evil in the entire world right now, and they're just like, we have to respect their culture. They're brown. You know. Yeah. All right, continue. But like, no, sorry. And then like the first one, it's like, okay, and this is where I will agree. We do imprison too many people for crimes that aren't violent.
Sure.
That is a problem in America. I will get behind that. But it is not as big as a problem as nail bombs and trucks running over people in your streets and things of that nature. Because the thing is with that problem can be solved very easily by something called personal responsibility, where if you're not committing crimes, you're not going to go to jail. Like, you can say that, like, oh, the inner cities are over policed or whatever, but if you're not committing a crime, like, there no, like, I agree. You know what? I'll say there's probably been framing of crimes by police in the history of the United States, but it's not to the scale. Like, they're not doing it on the scale to get this many people incarcerated. There's just this many people breaking the law. Like, I understand. I don't agree with the law either. Like, if you want to use marijuana is the biggest one, we'll say. Sure. If you want to use marijuana, it's your thing. But you have to understand, in most states, you're breaking the law, right? Yeah. And while I don't want to convict you and wouldn't want you convicted of it, you have to understand that the people in charge do, right? Mm-hmm. So you need to have personal responsibility and not have yourself be associated with it, if possible, to avoid being incarcerated. But most people don't, or at least the people who are in prison don't. That's all I'm saying. Is that, yes, I would want the laws changed, but it doesn't mean that you can't just take personal responsibility over yourself to not commit the crime in the first place, and then you would never have the problem.
That's right.
And then the whole number one in defense spending thing. Yeah, we're the number one in defense spending because we are so much more powerful.
Why is that a problem? That's just a matter-of-fact statement. That's not even like I can't even derive anything negative from that.
Like, basically it's the liberal perspective of we could just be taking care of more poor people and giving more handouts instead of just, like, you know, making sure that freedom and democracy reigns supreme over the whole world. I mean, not really, but, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're talking to someone who, you know, if there was like a sudden Red Scare again and then communism started spreading,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh hell yeah, we need to like send the troops in.
Let's weed in the garden, man.
Let's weed them out. All right. It was a great meme for like the Second Amendment. Sorry, this is a little off topic, but one of my favorite is the so like, why would you want an AR-15? And you're just like, well, I want a powerful rifle so that I can defend myself against tyrants if there ever is one in the United States government. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, you're going to take on the most powerful Air Force in the world with just an AR-15. And it's a picture of one of my favorite YouTubers, Filthy Frank, from one of his videos where he has like, he's like Asian and he has like a one of those like rice hats on. And it just says like, he's like, welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker. He's just like, it's like that. That's the American gun owner when they say like they can't take on the United States military or whatever. It's like, because like, so that like
that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Vietnam was a very hard war to fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, you know, if there's ever a tyrant and like you think we can't defeat the best Air Force in the world for some reason, welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, all right, continue with the video.
All right.
More than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're
He kind of has some like catty homosexual mannerisms to like his whole...
Yeah,
I don't know. Just for the listener, just so you know.
It's like a know-it-all kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yosemite.
Dramatic pause.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons.
Yeah, pause it here. Like,
so no religion, but we have to have morals somehow.
Yeah, like you want to know, like one of the biggest criticisms of American history, the liberals, like the fact that slavery existed in the United States. Like, do you know like the biggest reason for why people were turned against slavery and why abolitionists existed? It was because of the Christian faith.
Sure.
All right. Like people realize that like all men are created equal under God, and that even if you don't want to associate with people who aren't your race, they are still children of God, and they need to not be in bondage. All right. Yeah. Like this is a story that goes all the way back to the Old fucking Testament. All right. And the thing is, by today's standards, the abolitionists would be horrible alt-right Nazi racists. Right, because
that's not even true. Because like Robert E. Lee didn't even have any slaves, and I don't think he believed in slavery.
Yeah, he was. I
mean, there were many people from the South. Yeah, he was just from the South. I mean, there's like this whole story that's like been evolved of like how everybody fighting for the Confederacy was just like a horrible white racist who wanted to keep black people in chains, and the whole war was fought for slavery, and blah blah blah. And there's a lot more. It's a lot more complicated than that. And you're right. The impetus for breaking slavery or abolishing it had a strong religious undertone. I also think it had something to do with like I also think it was like a tactical move by the North's part to declare slavery abolished in order to kind of like undermine the South during the war, because it was declared while the war was still going on.
I understand that the emancipation happened after. And only freed slaves in Southern aligned states in the Confederacy.
Right.
Like there were still slaveholding states in the North during the Civil War. People don't really know that.
Sure.
But the thing is that the war was mainly fought over slavery. But yes, slavery was a rod that the North used to beat the South with.
Yes.
But I will say,
but even before the Civil War, before even like the war was declared, there were still freed slaves walking around, which shows that there were a lot of people who didn't really buy into that whole narrative of like we got to enslave people.
Yes, like the idea of like that people can be free no matter their skin color was around, and even our founders recognized that slavery was not a good thing. The thing was they just put it off. They basically said that we cannot fight this. We cannot fight the battle of slavery while also trying to win our freedom from the British Empire. So they basically even in the Constitution, I'm pretty sure in the Constitution it was written that the slave trade would end by a certain date, and that you could no longer buy slaves from Africa. You could only circulate them from within the United States.
Sure.
But so yes, it's a blot on American history, but it's also just
America's cap because we're the first country to abolish it.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well,
all the European countries abolished.
European white man abolished slavery. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, no, okay, that's what I was getting to. Is that slavery was only abolished because of white people or because of the Europeans. The British Empire literally spread the most freedom throughout the world you possibly could when it came to at least bondage. They literally just went into these third world shithole countries and was like, you got to stop enslaving people. It's wrong. God said not to do it, basically. So, the British Navy was the greatest force of freedom in the world for a certain period of time before the United States became the power it did.
Yeah. And then, yeah. Okay. How much more of this clip do you want to play?
How much time do we have left in the episode?
We're already over the hour mark by about 5 minutes.
Shoot. All right.
Well, anyway, the clip goes on for another minute. Is it worth playing? Should I play it all?
No, we'll just stop it there. I just wanted to show you that, this is a attitude. This is basically a cultural attitude in the United States right now that for some reason we are not a great country, and we should be ashamed of certain things. And I
would like to point out that this show was created by Aaron Sorkin, who hails from New York. He's part of a certain ethnic group that kind of always pushes this narrative. And I'm not saying anything. You don't have to think ill of him or positively of him, but notice the story that he's pushing and notice the other types of people that push that type of story and where they kind of hail from. There's a pattern. And you wanted to apologize for something we said in the previous episode?
Oh my God, I totally forgot. I'm sorry I did not do this in the first part. Oh man, I am so sorry, everyone. So in the last episode when we were talking about artificial intelligence, I referenced a movie that is called War Games, but I called it Patriot Games, which is a different movie. And
I thought he was talking about Reindeer Games, which is a different movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sorry. I wholeheartly apologize for getting your favorite movie wrong.
God damn you, Mike. Which users brought this to our attention?
I don't want to call them out by name. I feel like that'd be.
Well, we're gonna send them a booster box each of
Scars of Mirrodin. Oh, okay. All right. Well, comment down below if we got that movie wrong for you, and we'll send you a free booster box of Scars of Mirrodin.
But only if you reply in the next 10 minutes. Otherwise, the contest is void.
Yeah, exactly. You have to if you don't reply by
8 p.m. Eastern Central Time, or
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're not valid in the competition, so sorry about that. But But anyway, I think that's enough for this episode. We did have another topic, but
we'll hit it next week.
Yeah, we'll get it next week. So
we're talking about TV shows from 2014 now, so it doesn't matter if what we talk about is a little out of date. I hope you all enjoyed our awesome cutting edge review of the Newsroom. And,
as you can tell, RC really didn't like this segment, so
what?
We're gonna go ahead and go.
I'm fine talking about it.
It's been RC really didn't like it, and that's okay. And we know you guys aren't gonna like it either, but we're uploading it anyway because fuck you. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, comment St. Patrick's Day is racist in the comments.
Yes.
and that way we'll know that you listened to the whole video.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what if I just skipped to the end with the timestamps and then heard this part and typed it in? Well, fuck you. If that's
Well, you're going to have to enter in your comment to be entered into our contest. You have to enter a 6-digit code. We'll give you the last 3 digits now. The first 3 were given earlier in the episode. So if you're doing that skip trick, you're going to have to go back and listen anyway. The last 3 digits are 357. And anything else you want to say, Mike?
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone, and drink responsibly.
There you go. If you happen to own a green Riddler suit, today would be the best day to wear it.
Yes, a green Riddler suit. This would be. I mean, other than any day you're living in Africa, this is the best day to wear it. All right. Well, I'm Mike,
And I'm RC.
and thank you for listening to the Geek Culture and Philosophy podcast. Have a great day.